I designed a fully tileable single ingredient crafter. Let's take a look at it. So as you guys know, I've been going over this block and I have been making videos like crazy over this thing because it is just such a fantastic block. But I've also been trying to design stuff that fits what the community is going to use this for. And something that I think is going to be highly in demand is a fully tileable crafting system like this one. Now this one is going to be your basic crafter. It is only going to craft things that require one single ingredient. Single ingredient meaning that it will take a single ingredient to make the item. But just to be clear, I'm not talking about the quantity of these. For example, it takes 9 gold nuggets in order to make a gold ingot, so that would be a single ingredient crafting recipe. So if you tried to craft a gold nugget in here, it would craft it just fine. However, if you used a multi-ingredient recipe such as a redstone torch, and you tried to place in redstone and sticks, then it's not going to craft it. So yeah, just remember that this is a single ingredient crafter and you will be just fine. Which is totally fine because that is what most farms are actually going to put out. So for example, if you are putting out a ton of gold from a gold farm, then you can directly feed all of your gold into here. And as soon as you do, it's going to work its way down into here at double hopper speed and craft all of your gold ingots for you. The same thing goes for all of your iron nuggets. So if you have a bunch of iron nuggets coming out of, say, a piglin bartering farm, you can send these things in and they are going to start crafting up all of your iron ingots very quickly. So you want all of your iron ingots crafted into iron blocks, not a problem. You just feed these things through and they're going to fill up, and as soon as they get to 9 in here, it's going to automatically stack them. And in the process, you can see it automatically skips over the pressure plates and the iron bars. That is because it's not reaching a signal strength of 9, so it does not activate the crafter. And the same thing goes for the gold ingots. You could throw those in and get gold blocks. Do you have a really efficient moss farm that puts out a ton of bone meal like the one on my channel? Don't worry, you could throw all of these inside of the crafter. And whenever that fills all the way up, you're going to get a bunch of bone blocks out of it. So what happens if we don't want to craft something with 9 blocks? Is this crafter still going to work? The answer to that is yes, absolutely, because whenever you tick one of these, it not only fills up a spot and keeps it from filling in, but it also puts out a signal strength there. Which means because this crafter will only be activated at a signal strength of 9, we can fill all of these in, which will make it put out a signal strength of 8 with all of these ticked. So whenever we have a final one go in there, that's going to put out a signal strength of 9, activating the crafter, making that white dye that we desire. And if you want to see an example of that, I will show you. However, there is one catch. You cannot feed this into this double hopper speed, so you do have to remove 2 of these hoppers. That way this does not fill too quickly, and then you can just throw your bone meal in like so. And as you can see, it's going to craft all of this at a pretty high rate, nice and reliably. Did I mention that this is tileable? As you can see, we have this tile directly next to each other, and that is because, like I said, this runs off of a signal strength of 9. So whenever this one is totally full and activate, it's going to fill up all of this redstone with signal strength, and then once it gets to the 9th one here, it's going to power this block, which will power the crafter. However, it will not power the neighboring one because in order to power that one, it would have to go from a signal strength of 9 to a signal strength of 10, which is not possible with the crafter. So you're never going to have to worry about these intermingling and breaking all of your crafters, which is wonderful. Which means if we fill all of this up with our gold nuggets here, and then we can put our iron nuggets in here and our bone meal in here. We're going to get all of our gold nuggets going into here, crafting out all of our gold ingots, all of our iron nuggets going into here, crafting out all of our iron ingots, and then all of our bone meal going into here, crafting out all of our bone blocks. Now I was going to add a double stage crafter to this and put one directly underneath it, and it is very possible. However, there's really no reason for it, because if I wanted to take, say, a bunch of these that were all doing the same material, let's use gold for an example. I could take these to where they're going to craft the gold, and then I can just run a hopper line underneath all of these. And because they output the gold ingots at a lower rate, then they're going to then go into this hopper line, which will fill this one up over here. And whenever that gets done, it's going to fill again to a signal strength of 9 and then craft it. And whenever that happens, well, I should have put a container under there, but you can see we're getting some gold blocks, which is exactly what we wanted. And again, you're just going to run your hoppers under the ones that have the desired material inside of it. So for example, this one you would only want to run to ones that have gold, which should be relatively easy because typically you would put all of your gold clustered together and then all of your iron or whatever else that you're doing for the farm that you're running. And then for, say, this one, we could just have the hopper going down or going that way or this way. That way you could send this to a different system. Now say that you didn't want this all the way over here inside of a remote mount configuration. All you would have to do is come over here to your crafters, add another one just like you've done with the 3 here, and then take the one that's spitting out the iron ingots into the system and just point it into the neighboring one here. So then you could just remove all of this here and just have this set up. And now whenever you do that, you can have your material, which for this we're going to use the iron nuggets. Make sure that we clear out this neighboring one. And then we can put all of our material in here. And now because this one's right next to the other one, it's a dual stage. So it's essentially crafting all of our iron ingots here and then spitting it sideways into this one that's going to craft all of our iron blocks. And then as soon as the iron block is crafted, it's going to shoot it down into here, into our storage. Now, of course, we wouldn't have this going to the standalone one because, well, once you put a bunch of iron blocks in here, it's not going to make anything else. But you get the idea. If you wanted it all together, you could do it like this instead of using this configuration, which would totally remove all of this. And then you would have it configured side by side all together. Then you could just repeat the tiling process over and over and over again to add additional materials and then double craft them like so as needed. So yeah, pretty cool, simple, and easy to build. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, please drop a like on your way out. And if you haven't already done so, consider subscribing. That way you don't miss any videos like these in the future. Thanks. See you next time.